Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Middle East Institute. On behalf of the Institute, we welcome every one of you. This is going to be a very interactive session today. And of course, time sensitive. We are time sensitive. It'll be capsuled. I think we should be able to finish in 90 minutes. I hope so. But we need everybody's input after our distinguished panel, guest, they speak. So just to begin formally, I'm going to invite Mr. Farooq Siddiqi, who is the President of Kashmir Global Council. Please have your welcoming remarks, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Kashmir Global Council, third conference in the United States. We earlier had two conferences in New York, and this is for the first time that we are coming to the capital of the democracy of the world. And I thank the organizers, Mr. Shahab Karni and Mujib Qazi, who have been our partners in this gathering here. And this Kashmir Global Council is an advocacy group of Kashmiris. It advocates for the restoration of the sovereignty of Kashmir, which was lost in 1947 after the subcontinent, India and Pakistan now. That time it was India only, and that two dominions came into existence who were colonized by the Britishers, and one of the states, which was Jammu and Kashmir, was at that time in 1947 an independent country which had its allegiance with the paramountcy of the British, His Majesty at that time. Similarly, that we have now Australia and New Zealand and Commonwealth countries whose paramountcy is still the British Crown. But unfortunately, and the irony of the whole history is that two dominions became independent, got decolonized, while Kashmir became an occupied country. Later on, it was also divided into three territories, and in 1962 we had a Chinese aggression there, and part of the Kashmir was taken by the China. I would also like to mention that there have been two United Nations Human Rights Council reports in 2019 and 2018, which very explicitly give a detailed description of how the human rights abuses are being done, especially in the Indian-held Kashmir. Not that they have left some of the clauses of those areas in the other part of Kashmir, which is which all of you know as Azad Kashmir. Right? Kashmiris ever since then have been divided, not allowed to see each other within their own territory and within their own land. We have Mr. Raja Muzaffar here. I am sure there are so many outside this hall whose land, whose hamlets, whose villages have been divided. And that's the tragedy, that within your own land, if you want to visit a neighbor, you have to cross more than 4,000 kilometers in order to seek the visa, then go to the international border between India and Pakistan, and then come to their own neighbor. So at 2-kilometer distance is being made into a 10,000-kilometer journey. So that's the part of it. We have, I was only last month, I attended one of the forums in the birthplace of democracy, that's Athens Democracy Forum. And in that forum, what was important, that there were very eminent speakers who came and they emphasized that the challenges that the democracies have right now is that the people's participation is lacking. And exactly that's what has happened in Kashmir to an extent that there is zero participation of the people of Kashmir in order for democracy to flourish. And I would like to recall one of the prime ministers of India who came to Washington about a decade back, and he addressed the joint session of the Congress here, and I would quote that what he said, and that's very interesting for all of you to understand, and how the evolving democracy of India has not come to the expectation of what democracy all is about. And I will quote Mr. Manmohan Singh that the democracy is not what is written in the Constitution, but democracy is how it will function on the ground. And as I said, there are so many human rights abuses going on. The Indian democracy is not functioning. We have been many times by the United States. We have had earlier some meetings with the State Department of the United States, when in our discussions with them, they have always come up with this reason that India and Pakistan are saying that Kashmiris are being represented by the elected governments of the respective countries. But my question is that Kashmiris cannot be recommended by the people who control them and by the state that occupies them. Thank you. Thank you.